Okay, welcome to Midas Minds. This is Tyron333, and this is the channel where we turn thoughts, passions, and ideas into gold. And I got another great topic to discuss with you today. As always, we're firing you up, we're getting you right for your business journey here, and we're going to talk about entrepreneurial myths and different things that entrepreneurs have to go through and maybe aspiring entrepreneurs think about before they even go down that journey or go down that path. There's a lot of different things out there that'll make you think differently about the journey and maybe even make you hesitate a little. And I'm going to get rid of all that misinformation out there. I'm going to set the record straight. So stay tuned with me, and I'm going to show you how to start taking those steps down that path. And the first step is, and the first myth I think I want to dispel is you need a perfect business plan to get started. You need it all detailed down to the everything you're going to sell, last person you're going to sell to, everything you're going to get started, which is good to have. It's good to be prepared. But in this business world, you got to be ready for the punches, and they will come at every angle. You got to be ready for the changes, and your biggest tool as an entrepreneur will be how you can adapt and react to different things. Get something rough together about what you want to do with your business, but at the end of the day, get started. That's the biggest advice I can give you as an entrepreneur of many businesses. Had my success, had my failures also. So I can also sit here with wisdom and tell you, get started. Get started as soon as possible. Learn how to fail forward as fast as possible and learn how to do things at a different pace and rate. And this game of entrepreneurship, many people think they need a perfect business plan to get it going, have every detail mapped out, every risk calculated. You're not ready to start. But the truth is, no business plan survives the first contact with the real world. Things change, market shifts, and what you thought would work perfectly might just get turned on its head, and the exact opposite might work. So you got to test and retest. You got to look at the analytics, the feedback you're getting from various angles, and learn how to do it and shift it in a way that works for you. Like I was saying, the key is adaptability. It's much better to start with a rough plan, adjust as you go. The business world is dynamic, and your ability to adapt will be your greatest strength. So let's talk about the next myth here. The next myth is you need a lot of money to get started in business. And that's a common misconception. A lot of business people think I need thousands of dollars, I need racks, I need a bag to get this going. And the best business owners and the best entrepreneurs are resourceful. They're creative. They figure it out. They get it done with what they have. And there's a way you can also be one of those people. Having financial resources definitely help, but you don't always need capital to start. Many successful entrepreneurs bootstrap their businesses from almost nothing. The key is resourcefulness, doing more with less, efficiency, finding creative ways to get things done, and leveraging what you have, whether it's time, skills, or connections. And we talk about all this in some of my videos I dropped here on this channel, so make sure you touch in with those. There's crowdfunding, pre-sales, angel investors. There's grants out there for startups, plenty of them I've seen. There's a lot of ways you can get some funding to get and capital to get your business going without that heavy initial investment. And when you start lean, you're focused on what really matters. And then you can build as you go. So that's another misconception there, but that's a key one. You don't need a big bag to get these businesses rolling. Get your ideas out there, get that business started. And the next misconception I want to talk about is people think or seem to think that business owners and entrepreneurs have all types of freedom, all the free time in the world. Oh, and another one is for those who work at home, even. You got all the time in the world to answer calls and do this and that. It's actually, in reality, if you're a hard worker, the opposite. Businesses take a lot of time and effort to get off the ground. Yeah, you can work at your own schedule and your own pace, but usually that's going to take work in odd hours, maybe even weekends, times you don't want to work. You got to put in work when everyone else is not working. And it's going to take a little bit of consistent time to get that business where you want to go. So to be the boss, it's going to take a cost. Just remember that. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are working nights, weekends, and holidays. The reality is, building a business demands a lot of sacrifice before you reach that point of financial freedom where you can do all those things you want to do and live on your time. It's going to take a lot of great time management up until that point too. So it's not really financial freedom. It's maybe they're working at a time where you're not working. Maybe they work from 12 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning when everyone's sleeping, because that's the only time they have to really get work done on their craft. And that's not even for accounting for those people who also work a 9 to 5 on top of building the business. So it might even take you a little bit longer to get the business started because you're also working to bring capital in for that business. And I've seen a lot of people doing that double dip route. I'm in it right now. It's because I have a skill and a trade that can bring me capital so I can keep funding my businesses and my business endeavors. But, you know, it's not all about freedom. You're actually going to put in more time than you ever have on anything. But that's why you got to love what you do, love your business, your brand, and treat it like a baby that you got to nurture, or a seed that you got to grow, and make sure that happens. Put the time in, and it will be well worth it at the end of the tunnel if you stick to it. A lot of businesses, like they say, they don't even last 5 years. So you got to be the one who beats the statistics and beats the odds. And another misconception for entrepreneurs is you have to do everything yourself. And I have another video about finding the right mentorship, getting the power team together. It's all about delegating and finding people. If you don't have a team right away, finding the people that you really connect with, who can build with you, and maybe they can share some of your skills, or that you can contract some of their skills for what you're doing. A lot of entrepreneurs fall into the trap of thinking they need to do everything by themselves. In the beginning, yes, you have to wear many hats, but as your business grows, you'll need to delegate tasks to others, whether it's hiring employees, outsourcing to freelancers, or forming partnerships. Trying to do all alone will only lead to a burnout. And I've been there also. Mister, I think I can do a million things at one time. It's all about pace. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So learn how to do everything you can effectively. When you're focused on one thing, focus on that thing. Don't have 3 different things going on. Get it done, and get it done effectively. And learning to trust others and building a solid team is crucial to your long-term success. Remember, your job is to be a visionary, CEO, be able to see further than the eyes can see and the other employees can see. That's what makes you the boss. That's what makes you the owner. That's what makes you the visionary, not the person who handles every detail. It's, the micromanagers can do that, but they're wasting a lot of time on things that if they got the right employee in place, or the right person in place they trust, it'll get done a lot smoother. The key is to working smarter, not harder. Again, work smarter, not harder. The next misconception that would hit for a lot of entrepreneurs is a lot of us get caught up in these failures, these setbacks, these losses, these obstacles. We could just get caught up thinking, man, this is the end. Should I wrap this up? Don't let those thoughts creep in for long, because they will probably creep up for most of us at some point. I'm just being real. For the confident people out there who just, I got this, more power to you. But doubt does creep in for most of us. And when that does creep in, the thing is to not let it set in for long. This is huge. Failure means you're not cut out for entrepreneurship. Just think about that statement right there. Failure, no, I want you to think about this. Failure is inevitable. Every successful entrepreneur has failed many times over and over again to figure it out. Often more than once. Failure isn't the end, it's a learning opportunity. It's actually the beginning. It's the beginning of you figuring it out. It's the beginning of you never making that mistake again. So always remember that. It's how you grow, adapt, and improve from those mistakes. What separates successful entrepreneurs from the rest of the pack is their ability to bounce back from those setbacks. Learn from mistakes and keep pushing forward. Fail forward. So don't feel failures. Embrace it. It's part of this journey. And that's very powerful right there. So always remember that. Fail forward. And the next misconception is, okay, if I build it, they will come. Okay, let's talk about that. That's one of the most dangerous myths out there, I would say. Just because you created a great product or service doesn't mean customers will automatically come. There's a lot of great musicians out there. There's a lot of great products out there. There's a lot of great businesses out there. If you don't have it in front of the right eyes, in front of the right people, the right connections, if you're not marketing, it's going to fall on deaf ears, especially in this day and age. You need it to be seen. So marketing, networking, building relationships are just important as creating your product. You need to actively get out there, connect with your audience, connect with potential buyers, potential collaborators, and communicate your value and your proposition. Business is not a build it and they will come situation. It's a build it, promote it, learn, and then scale the situation. And then if you feel inclined, do it again. But that's what business is. So that's the sum of it. Those are the myths that a lot of people think in business. Lets a lot of people get in their own way. Some of the biggest myths about entrepreneurship right there, debunked. And if you're starting your journey, you're thinking about taking a leap, I hope this clears a lot of those misconceptions up for you. Remember, entrepreneurship isn't easy, but it's incredibly fulfilling. Building something with your bare hands and doing it from scratch, building something with your brain right here, making that light bulb go off. If you stay committed, learn from your mistakes, and keep pushing forward, there's some gold at the end of that tunnel. Don't stop striking that rock and that concrete an inch before you strike gold. So think about that. And I always want to thank everybody for tuning in here at Midas Minds. Always remember, we're turning thoughts, passions, and ideas into gold here. And above all, remember, the mind is powerful.